So I just finished watching this cinematic trailer for a game called Beautiful Light, an upcoming extraction shooter that utilizes modern weapons with a little bit of horror mixed in, and I've spoken with one of the developers over there, and now I am even more stoked for this game. Back when Activision was teasing the DMZ, I was really excited for it because 1, I love extraction shooters, 2, I love when games use modern weapons, and 3, having a AAA title use all their resources to bring me both of those sounded great. After playing for a while, the game mode is kind of fun, but it does have several issues, the biggest one being the lack of intensity. Basically to the point of where you can go in and go through an entire raid and not encounter a single other player. That takes the intensity completely out of it. It's unlikely, but it is possible. And honestly, that intensity is what I'm really looking for in an extraction shooter. That's what I think makes it good. Intense moments, but at the same time, nothing super complex. That's why Tarkov isn't exactly for me either. I have a family and I can't put that kind of time into the game while also keeping up with other games in the industry. So, could this game be it? Could this game be the kind of intense modern extraction shooter I'm looking for? Could it be the modern hunt showdown I've been yearning for over the past 3 years? After learning a bit more, I am very optimistic about this game, and if it's done correctly, within a quick enough time frame of course, it could really be something incredible. Let's talk about why I'm so excited with this game. My name is Tacti. Hit the like button to help me feed my family and subscribe to stay updated. Alright, so Beautiful Light, here's what we know so far. Currently, the game is in early testing. They'll be hosting a playtest soon, and a lot of what you're seeing on the screen here in regards to gameplay is outdated footage that they sent me. I haven't got my hands on it, I know a few creators who have, but the video only shows so much, so let me explain the general overview of the game. Beautiful Light is a new PvPvPvE tactical first-person extraction shooter. It's developed by an independent studio called Deep Worlds, and I'll explain that PvPvPvE here in a second, but essentially the goal is you hop into a raid to find the mysterious artifacts that are the key to survival. These artifacts are guarded by hostile creatures and environments, so you're going to have some scary creatures there. PMC players are tasked with going into this raid, grabbing one of these artifacts, and extracting. But it's not just the PMC players, it's not just the squads there. This is where the PvPvP gets involved. Yes, there will be fighting other squads to obtain these artifacts, but you can also load in as one of the ooey gooey monsters that wants to put PMC burgers on the menu, and that's where the twist is. Some of the monsters are AI, but some can be players, and all of them will be out to get you. Extracting an artifact will get you money and XP so that you can upgrade your character outside of the raid. And this is where an RPG element sort of enters into the fray. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work. I know once you die, you lose your gear, but not these RPG elements, not these upgrades. I'll update you more when I know that. When it comes to looting though, the out-of-raid stash is going to be very simplified. It's not going to be anything super complex. This is one of the things that gets me excited actually. While Tarkov is an incredibly dense game, this also means that you have an out-of-raid stash that you have to play Tetris with in order to maintain it. Now, this is a great thing if you have time, but if you don't, this is certainly going to prevent you from playing the game. It's not exactly a mechanic for casuals. If I want to hop into Tarkov for an hour, I'll hardly get anything done because I'll be busy sorting my pockets for about 30 minutes, loading into the raid, which takes about, 15 minutes now? And it's not a game I can just sit down and play quickly. This game, on the other hand, sounds like it may be a bit easier to hop in and enjoy. The game features 6 squads of 3 operators each, and you can choose from various weapons, protection, gadgets. Again, you've got that RPG element to it. But you gear up, hop into the mission with your squad, do the pew-pew thing, rid the world of monsters, yada yada yada, and then you extract. Now, when it comes to playing as one of the monsters, I don't know if they're going to have to extract or what their sort of game plan is going to be. I haven't seen gameplay of that. They're going to have different powers and they're going to have different weaknesses, so you'll have to use those to your strength. There are things like stealth, traps, brute force, a bunch of different things you can use to hunt down the operators. As you can see, they're going to have their own skill tree as well, so I don't know what that looks like, whether, again, you're going to have to extract to gain some things, or you're going to have to find items in there. Maybe you're going to have to consume people. I don't know. It'd be cool if you had to, consume people in order to level up this skill tree here. But still a pretty cool feature. Just another mini game outside of the main game. I think the game Predator or something, Alien, I don't know exactly what it is. I've heard a lot of good things about the game Alien. I think it's Isolation, where basically you're hunting other players in the game. I believe I've seen some gameplay and it looks pretty cool. If it's anything like that, it could be pretty cool. You just use those powers to see through the trees and stuff like that. I'm guessing you're going to be buffed when it comes to movement and sneak, but your health is going to be a little bit lower. I don't know. We'll see. While you're a PMC and loading into the raid, you have to explore and navigate the map. You've got to search for clues and loot and do different objectives. Some of those objectives is outside of just grabbing the artifacts. There are going to be traders in the game that will give you special tasks that you can level up and unlock gear, I'm sure. So you're going to be tasked with that on top of the primary objective of grab the artifacts. What's really cool about this too is that the map is going to be dynamic. It's going to change according to the time of day, the weather, conditions, a lot like Tarkov there. But to me, that's really nice because it makes one map feel like a completely different experience depending on the time of day. All right, but the big question you probably have, a lot of different games have these features, so why would I be hyped about this? What's the big deal? Well, for you consistent viewers, you'll know that Hunt Showdown is my favorite game, and I think they do the extraction process perfectly. It does a fantastic job of bringing everyone into one specific area of the map to help promote those engagements, and it's also got a fantastic out-of-raid economy that promotes a good balance during those engagements. If you compare that with a DMZ or even Tarkov, everyone is sort of doing their own little quests there. Sure, the extractions are hot spots sometimes, but for the most part, everyone is doing their own quest line. And that can lead to a lot of different frustrations because you're trying to mind your own business and sometimes, boom, you've got a 6-man sniffing your gym shorts. That, or in the case of Tarkov, if you don't hop in the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, you may be screwed because all you'll see is a wasteland of chads with high-tier gear. I'm hoping that's not what's going to happen here. There is still that RPG element that's going to be involved when unlocking the skill tree, but the devs are working hard to balance this, so it's not like you'll have some sort of extreme advantage if you're putting in 30 hours a week into the game, other than something like map knowledge or muscle memory when it comes to the gunplay. Which, in my opinion, the gunplay aspect is the most important aspect of this game. The entire balance system has to be worked around this, and it's going to be tough with these RPG elements and with certain gear upgrades. Because look, I, as a little Timmy hopping into Tarkov 3 weeks later, I don't stand much of a chance, unless, of course, my head-eyes cheats are working that day. So that's going to be something that they're really going to have to work out. But if they're able to balance this properly, which they're certainly trying to do, I think the game really has potential to thrive, especially since the game design is focused so much on bringing those players to a specific location on the map and promoting those intense engagements. And not so much on the loot. In general, they're not really focused on you being a loot goblin. They're really pushing for those intense gunfights, and that's going to be the core of the game. And because of this, they're really hoping not to have any wipes after the full release. They will have some during the early access period because they want to get the balancing correct. But once it releases, no more wipes. And I also want to talk about briefly the customization. Now here, it looks pretty simple. This is just an early UI concept. But the fact that you can customize things, that's sort of a core feature to these hardcore tactical shooters. And I think if they implement this well, I think that they could have something really special on their hands. The more customization, the better. High intensity, modern weapons, casual gameplay loop. This, to me, is a recipe for a very successful extraction shooter. And that's why I think this game is going to be getting a lot of attention over the coming years. What do you guys think, though? Does this game sound like something that you're interested in? Do you think maybe the genre is wore out a little bit? For me personally, a hardcore tactical shooter with an extraction method here, mwah, chef's kiss. Beautiful Light is coming to Steam, where you can add it to your wish list and get notified when it becomes available. I'll link that down below. You can also join their official Discord. Again, I'll link that as well. You'll get updates, announcements, and the opportunity to be in playtest. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Again, let me know what you think about this game down below. Is it something you're interested in? Have a great day, gamers, and until the next one, be bold, be courageous, stay gray.